Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. This time we're going over some Marvel Legends exclusive figures. We have some Black Widows, Red Hulk, and Venom. We're going to rank them here from worst to best. Let's get to it. No, it's not just because he doesn't come with any accessories. Monster Venom is kind of a letdown anyways. I just find him to be kind of weird because you pull open his arms and his back starts coming apart, and it's just awful how that happens. He has really nice colors on him. I like that. That's at least a good thing. I like the color wash, the blue color wash, kind of like an animated series kind of thing. They're on his fingers, they're on his arms, they're on his torso. The paint is actually pretty well applied. It's a little fuzzy over here. The articulation is very stiff, though. That's something that I need to just point out with this guy. Very stiff articulation. I mean, I think it's just because he has he's a Build-A-Figure and he has to sort of stand a lot and just be a sort of larger figure that he would probably fall over if he didn't have that good articulation. But, I mean, for a Monster Venom, if you want to put him in your Ultimate Spider-Man collection, that would be pretty cool. That's what I'm doing with this. He's a nice figure and all, but just, yeah, it's kind of a letdown because it doesn't really come with anything. If it came with an extra head, came with extra hands, fists would be great, maybe a smiling head, that would put him a little more higher on this list. So next up is Black Widow, and I find this Black Widow to be a pretty cool improvement amongst the other ones. She has a nice color scheme to her, like this pearlescent kind of color. The pearl gold is really cool too. I like the emblem on her belt. Also the head is really nice, and it looks like the best Black Widow comic figure head we've seen in a long while. Got a little bit of wash on the back, a little bit of coloring, and it really kind of just stands out as a better one. They're getting better and better with those heads, so that's pretty cool. So her articulation is the same as every other sort of female figure to date. She doesn't really have the elbows that we would really want on the figures, and she doesn't really have a torso articulation yet, maybe. Come on, Hasbro. Work with me here. And she just is just good. She's good. She's fair. She isn't like the best Black Widow figure that we come across, but the head is just a shining improvement over the rest. And it's just good. It's a good figure. One thing I don't understand is how she has a hand going this way on one hand and the other hand is going inward. That's something that kind of peeves me. They could have added 2 more hands that were just the opposites of that, and this figure would have been way better and higher on the list probably. A really good part about this Black Widow is the head. I like how it looks. The eyebrows are pretty cool. The lipstick shade's nice. You get some shading in the hair a little bit of sort of wash over there. It looks nice, and it's a good Black Widow head. It kind of fits on the other Black Widow figures, but I think I'm just going to keep it on this one. She comes with a bunch of accessories. She comes with this rifle here, and this is pretty cool. With a scope on it, it's got a sort of rubbery kind of strap that you can attach to her. It's kind of oddly applied, though, sort of flimsy. You can probably take it off here, but I don't really want to break it. There's another portion right over here in the front, which actually you can take it off, I think. But it's just sort of just there. I don't really see a point to using it in anything else, kind of. It's a nice little rifle thing. It's cool. She comes with 2 guns, one with a silencer, the other just a regular pistol. They're both pretty cool. I like the square sort of grips on them. They're interesting. Yet I just find that they're just kind of bland. They need a little more paint, maybe some weathering or something. The gun model's pretty nice, but it just it's alright. She comes with 2 smoke effects that come out of the gun muzzles. And she comes with 2 blast effects that come out of the gun muzzles as well. Little firing effects here. One's a little bit bigger, the other's a little smaller. Here's an example of the smoke in the guns. And here's an example of the blast effect for the guns. They look pretty cool. You can also use the blast effects on the rifle. Here's the large one. Here's the small one. Here's the large smoke. And here's the small smoke. So next up is Red Hulk, and I do like him, don't get me wrong, but he just is a little bit sort of limited in the articulation area, similar to the Green Hulk and Gray Hulk and Comic-Con Hulk that have come out in the past. He's kind of limited in the torso area a lot, and I just find that his arms move back instead of moving all the way forward is a big miss on Hasbro's part. He has okay articulation in the arms. He looks beefy and imposing, which he's supposed to be. But I just find that he could have been a little better suited with different articulation. I mean, you can't really get his legs up that far. This guy is sort of just for looks, and that's kind of a shame. They gave him some accessories, though, which at least puts him above Venom, in a way. You got these two hands that are grabbing hands, yet the paint on mine are not that great. There's this big paint splotch on his thumb right over here, if you could see that. And you could swap them out pretty easily, just like any other hand. He said having difficulty. I mean, that gives you a little more room to work with as far as the figure goes. It has really nice articulation on this. I mean, I like Red Hulk, but I guess the Black Widow figures are kind of better in some ways. Their articulation's better, they have more accessories, and they just sort of fare better in a collection than this guy, who you have to find a lot of space to work with. I thought I'd just put Black Widow from the movies in there. I really like this figure a lot. She comes with a lot of accessories. The articulation is the same old thing we've seen before. She comes with a lot of extra hands. She comes with an extra stand. She comes with a bunch of blow-up effects. And they're all really cool. Her articulation is actually really nice. I like how versatile they can make her. And she's just a really cool figure that deserves a lot of praise. This head sculpt is gorgeous. And they're actually really improving their face printing tech right here. It's just beautiful and amazing. And just look at that face. It's Scarlett Johansson. Bar none. That's her. Right there. She comes with two grabbing hands with these hooks, and they actually look pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what they do in the movie. And these are really cool hands. They have the roll of the dice motion once again, and I find that these hooks are sculpted really nice. They have little chains on them. You could see how they look really cool, and they're just nice. She comes with two gun holding hands, and you got one gun over here. Where's the other one? It's actually in a holster on the side of her belt. And that's pretty cool. It's a really tiny gun. It's really small, and you just put it in the hand right there. Have the trigger finger go inside the little trigger hole, and you're good. And these are really nice guns. They're kind of small. Just make sure you don't lose them. The gun holding hands have the up and down roll of the dice motion. So yeah. She also comes with two fists, and what's pretty cool about that is you can actually attach these effects to them. They're little blast effects you could put on her wrist, and I'll show you how to do that. You can actually take her hand off, move the gauntlet a little bit to the side, twist it around, and then put the shock effect on the wrist, and then grab the fist and put it on there, and then that fits on there quite nicely, showing that the shock effect goes out of this gauntlet and into someone's face. And if you have the figures from Winter Soldier or Age of Ultron, you can swap the gauntlets, you can swap the guns, you can swap the heads, and they all look quite nice on this. I'm just wondering if the hair will work, but that's a whole another story. Black Widow also comes with a buildable stand. So how to build this? You get the main base, you pick a corner, or you pick a side, wherever you want to put it. I usually like putting in the corner. The main elevator right here, because it moves up and down, the elevator. You get the elevator to the middle around there. You get an arm, you put the arm on, like that, and that swivels. You get the connection joint for the claw, and there's a screw side and a non-screw side. Put the non-screw side up, and then the claw has a screw side, non-screw side. You put the non-screw side up, and that's pretty cool right there. And you also can manipulate it by opening it and closing it at will. And that can clamp on a Black Widow. So along with this stand, it comes with a bunch of blast effects, like this huge one right here. It's really cool. Ball peg on the bottom. You just put that in the back right over here corner. It also comes with this slightly larger blast effect. I like putting that in the middle. Another ball down there. There's also some peg holes on the stand, and you could put this 3-pack of blasts right there. There's also two single blasts, and I like putting them, let's do one here and one there. So they're all kind of angling the same direction. And then you get Black Widow and just clamp her in. And the clamping part's kind of difficult, so you gotta kind of sort of shimmy her in there. Move that clamp and move that down. Move the elevator up a little bit. And there she is. Escaping whatever explosion is happening. And I think that looks pretty cool. All those explosions don't faze me. I'm Black Widow, he said in his best Scarlett Johansson impression. The only thing I don't like is the Hasbro logo on the bottom, but I'll take what I can get. It can work with anyone. It's a great stand, and I hope they make more. Well, that is to say, this stand can work with almost anyone. And finally, it's the gray Black Widow. I'm not really familiar with this character too much, as I don't really read the comics, yet I really like this design. It's gray, which is kind of the halfway point between the Black Widow and the White Widow we saw before, yet it's a really cool new design. I love the gold coloring on these gauntlets here. I like the gray color. I love this little spider right here. The face is amazing. I love this face for Black Widow. It's really cool. The color's really nice. The jacket's cool. It's probably reused. There's an A for Avengers on the side. On the back, she has a spider right here. Don't know, it kind of goes pretty far up, which is good. And I just really like how this figure moves, how the figure works and turns and everything. Great articulation. And it's just a blast. This figure is really nice and really worthy of the comic book shelf for your Avengers or Black Widow shelf or what have you. She has a bunch of effects and accessories like these splayed out hands. She also comes with blast effect gauntlets and smoke effect gauntlets. And just when you thought I'm done, she comes with a jetpack. Putting on the jetpack is like putting on a jacket or a shirt for these figures. You gotta kind of put one strap around the other thing, and then the arm's gonna go in this, and you just gotta push it in a little bit and wait for the joints to give a little bit to you, and then it should go on any day now. Then you flip her arms forward, and there you have the jetpack for Black Widow. It looks cool. There's blast effects for it too. You just pop that in there. And then put the other one in there. Move her head up. Get her in a pose. And now she's flying. And now she's flying. If I may say though, the jetpack does hinder arms going down a little bit for her. They can go further down if she didn't have it on. But man, is this a cool accessory. I love it. It's beautiful. So that's my review on these. Overall, it's a nice little mixed bag. A lot of Black Widows, a lot of big hulking figures. They're actually pretty cool. The thing is, they all work together in tandem. The Black Widow effects parts can go with other Black Widows. The guns can go with other characters. It's a glorified accessories pack in a way with some of the Black Widows. But that being said, this is paving the way for future figures and future molds, along with future things that Hasbro can cook up and say that, hey, we're making these things because we know you would like them. Smoke effects, blast effects, bring them on. Guns with pieces that you can slot in and out, bring them on. Stands that we can use and attach things to, bring them on. You know, all these different accessories and parts and figures and new things. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd re-release the stand intact and change the effects to pink for Nightcrawler in a year or two. That might be a thing. Who knows? Black Widow in the gray is really nice. She's got all these blast effects that are attached to her gauntlets, and those are pretty cool. And I like the head sculpt and the jacket. While the jetpack is kind of tough to put on, it makes it really worth it because who wouldn't want a jetpack? The MCU Black Widow is pretty cool. Along with the stand and all the accessories with that, she has 6 different hands and a bunch of different guns and blasters and shock effects, along with those climbing hooks, and I can't wait to see what they do with this suit in the movie. Red Hulk is really cool. There was a scramble to get him earlier, and I'm glad I got him because he's a really nice figure. He isn't like my favorite. There's some articulation issues here and there that I'm not a big fan of, yet he's kind of overlooked by some maybe. The overspray on his chest and the tops of his shoulders, just the detail on him is somewhat unnoticed. His face sculpt is really nice. It's snarling rawr thing, and he's pretty awesome. The Black Widow in the white is okay. I like her guns more than anything, and the head sculpt's pretty good, yet it's just sort of a boring costume. But it's the head sculpt along with the accessories that really redeems it here. Venom is... man, I want to like him a lot, but in this grouping, I can't like him too much. He does have a lot of issues, like with his back coming off and whatnot, and along with some tight joints. Yet, he's really imposing when you get him into a good pose. You just gotta make him look good for him to feel good as a figure. And I'm just glad we finally have an Eddie Brock Venom for the collection. The two Black Widows on the side are just some customs that I did with the heads and the shock effects, and they actually look really cool. They stand out even better in my collection than the other heads that used to be on there. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching and keep being creative. Stay tuned.